Welcome to our webinar. We appreciate everyone joining. Our webinar is going to focus on driving outcomes through AI-enabled execution. With us today, we will have Maureen Carlson, who's the co-founder and president of System Surveyor. We'll have Shelby Chatney, account exec, helping out. Dave Levitt will be our speaker on our side, who is our co-founder and partner. And I'm Dan Olivo. I'm the MC of the event, and we'll help as we go along. So Dave, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Dan, and thanks in advance for Maureen and Shelby for participating today. A little bit about MOIC Partners. Our objective is to help companies essentially navigate their sales processes, make them better so that they can move up market. A big challenge for software companies is transitioning from mid-market to up-market, and we have systems in place to help facilitate that, and at the same time improve their exit multiple by helping them achieve the elusive rule of 40, which is 40% ARR growth and 20% EBITDA growth, equaling 40. So what we're going to talk about today is our product called Pipeline Grader. It has various benefits and use cases. Primarily, we're focused on the outcomes, which include, but are not limited to, achieving 90% or greater sales forecast accuracy. So senior leadership can stand in front of investors, board of directors, 30 days before the end of a quarter, and with 90% confidence on a line item basis, not on an overall basis, but a line item basis, be at least 90% accurate on a deal by deal basis of what's going to close. We're also going to talk about longer term pipeline and the tools we have in place to manage that so that sales reps don't stay married to deals that have no chance of closing. Along the way, we're going to be focusing on objective measures of how to achieve these kinds of metrics and how to facilitate the pipeline from first call to close. We're getting away from could be, might be, should be, would like to be, I'll make it happen type of commitments to yes and no. And that's how we measure everything, on yes and no. No gray, no middle, no maybe, yes and no. Along the way, we using our embedded AI to help identify gaps that people are skipping in the process and how-tos, how to keep from getting stopped in the process. So from a sales team and sales leadership perspective, go back, please. Those are some of the benefits. For private equity and investors, we can help them choose companies better, because in the end, it's not going to be about the portfolio company's technology that makes them successful. It's going to be their sales process and the predictability of that sales process. So we're going to show investors how to achieve that, both in evaluating companies and in managing their portfolio companies. Next. So the MOIC Product Suite associated with Pipeline Grader has these 6 components. We talked a little bit about Pipeline Grader as the core base functionality, and that's measuring short and long-term sales forecasts. It's algorithm-based, and it's time and sequence oriented. So the sequence of steps matters, and we're measuring time so that we know how we're doing against time from an effectiveness perspective. If we're standing in front of a board of directors and a deal says it's 72 days behind and we only have 30 days left, guess what? That's a problem. As far as leveraging AI, we have a module called Compass, and Compass is the omniscient sales guru. Ask it anything at any time. Find out why a deal seems to be stuck, why someone's not calling back, what to do about it. It's leveraging Dan and our third partners, vast experience in enterprise software, as well as the collective knowledge that you're gaining along the way to help answer any questions and keep the process moving and give direction, not just ask questions. And part of the direction is going to be associated with building a business case. Foundationally, our whole methodology is based on having a business case method. The idea that in the end, best business case wins, not necessarily all the features. It's about the business case. When you get to the C-level in an organization, they don't know one feature from another. What they understand is financial outcomes. And a whole proposition is based on having a strong business case. Compass can help you do that. It's shocking how many companies struggle with understanding their unique capability and the value that that is driving differentiated from their competition. Compass can help build that. And Shelby's going to show that later in her everyday use of the product for System Surveyor. We've incorporated a concept from sports commonly known as wins against replacement player. We call it wins above replacement deal. So the premise is that after a certain period of time and inactivity, sales reps are not likely to kill deals. So the system's going to do it for them based on criteria that you set. So you can determine 3 different categories for longer term forecast. Is this a deal that we should pursue vigorously? Is it a deal that, well, maybe yes, maybe no, a little more time to tell? Or finally, is this a deal that needs to be scrapped? It's never happening. We can pretend all we want, but it's not happening. Get it off the pipeline. And any deal that we replace it with is likely to be at least as good and likely as the one we're eliminating. As we continue clockwise, sales performance rating system is a takeoff on the quarterback rating system in football as we approach Super Bowl week. And what we're trying to measure is the effectiveness of reps, not just percent of quota or wins and losses, but are they doing things the way we need them to do them? Are they on time with their activities? Are they going through the different steps, first base before second base before third base type of thing? So we're measuring their effectiveness. Are they effective at scrubbing the pipeline and not just depending on the system to kill deals? And then so we can keep a score, which will also help in ramping up reps in terms of are they getting better? Are they complacent as they've been here for a while? Are they continuing to get better? And we're measuring that again on an objective basis. Organizational memories is the incorporation of everything that you do day to day, whether it's call notes that are getting incorporated into the system, transcripts, other data, your specifications, anything that you use or has been used on any deal becomes available to all and starts helping the private language model that we have in our system get smarter and smarter and help the reps faster and faster and better and better. And then finally, pricing is an opportunity that companies, I think, leave a lot of money on the table by not having a pricing approach that is going to improve the long-term upside of an account and not discounting away your capabilities unnecessarily. And we call that pricing engine. Those are the components of our suite. And with that, I will turn it to Maureen Carlson, President of System Surveyor, to tell us a little bit about her company and how they've been leveraging MOIC systems.
Sounds great. Can you guys hear me okay? I have as any sales leader, by 2 p.m. we've been on a lot of meetings, and my AirPods decided to go out. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. But you got to be agile in this business. I want to say a huge thanks to the MOIC team for having us on today, but for helping us a lot in the last year. Look, if you're in my seat, I am the president and the co-founder of the company. I've been running the sales and marketing side of the business, go to market, we call it, for quite a few years, almost 10 years now. And we've really grown. We're doing pretty well on Rule of 40, always room for improvement. But that we got a lot of tools coming at us, but we're a software company. We love software. But I think what you're going to see today is how we're thinking about using MOIC, because we had a lot of AI tools coming at us. This one has found a very, very special place in our process, and I'll just share why, and Shelby will help me. So we're a B2B SaaS company. We've got some things going on ourselves in AI, but we're focused on the high growth physical security market. If you don't know what physical security is versus cyber, just think about all the video surveillance cameras you see, all the access control devices. That's all the card systems are in large campuses. Probably now when you walk into buildings, most of the lighting's automated and there's tons of sensors in there. So those are physical devices, all the cabling, all the things that make the buildings kind of really come alive and become smart now. We are a design software to help them, the system integrators and Fortune 500 and universities design those systems. And we like to call ourselves perfectly between paper and CAD. If you know what CAD is, extremely complex engineering design tool. We're way easier in the middle, and we've got thousands of customers using this, but we always need more. And we've only tapped a certain percentage of this market segment, so we're pretty serious about developing in the sales front. So this is just the iPad version. You take it out on a site survey. You would gather all that information, photos, hey, we need a camera here. You're talking with the client, and then you're going to sync that up to the cloud, and you're actually going to finish the design at your desk. So let's see if you can push on to the next slide. I realize that's not me. So just a quick peek, hey, what's the before and after of System Surveyor? So this is what it looks like typically. We're not usually competing against other software here, except maybe some use of Visio or PowerPoint. I mean, people are putting paper floor plans, if you can believe it, spreadsheets, pictures on their cell phones. It's a big headache. And look at the difference of moving over to System Surveyor. We're going to put that all in one place in a really beautiful, easy to use digital floor plan. And we're actually helping salespeople too, because they're reducing their design time and they're improving their sales win rate on proposals. But I'm not really here to talk to you all about System Surveyor, but of course we got to give our little why are we here. And we love to talk to the director of sales and the VP of sales or director of operations at system integration companies. And so MOIC's been really helpful to us. So if we want to go to the next slide, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why it's helpful to us. Again, I'm president of the company, so I only have one part of my time on sales coaching and sales management. We're actually very good at marketing. We have a ton of marketing inbound leads, but by the time you talk to a salesperson at System Surveyor, you've probably done a lot of your research. And we're looking at a much higher average sales price. So by the time you get Shelby involved, they're often looking at an enterprise decision around System Surveyor. We have clients that have 150 licenses. We have some that have 10. So we kind of have a mix. And why, I met Chip and Dave a while back, and why I was so excited about that is it's very easy to go to a pipeline meeting and it to be very subjective. Oh, well, Bob was sick, and so and we're concerned that Bob was sick, our client. But where is this deal really? And I needed to get a lot more precise with my team about whether opportunities were qualified and real. So we actually have MOIC integrated with our primary CRM, which is HubSpot. That's where the AEs live the majority of their time. They get their inbound opportunities there, and then they'll book meetings. Now, when they identify a deal, we've kind of got it figured out around 750 MRR. So if you multiply that by 12, you can get the ARR. Those will get into pipeline greater. And Shelby's going to show you that. We didn't want every transactional deal there. We want the top 8 to 10 that you're working at any one time, maybe 15 deals. And so that in our pipeline meeting, you'll get to see this firsthand. Shelby's going to show you the markers that are, again, objective about where this deal is in the stage of the process. So that's going to be exciting for you to see. They follow a pretty normal type of sales cycle. Again, I want a yes or a no. Do we have those markers in place? Not a big, long talk about it, because I've got a lot of deals to work through. And then, you know, we're trying to also, I love what Dave said, we're not just trying to improve that sales cycle. We're trying to figure out, you know, maybe there's just not an opportunity there. That's okay. Let's determine when we would rediscover that one again. It happens sometimes. The next part is automating a business case. Shelby actually came to the company and she really helped. And she'll tell you why her background's interesting here, is talking about the cost of an inaction to not buy the software, to not take any action to fix things, staying the status quo, versus an ROI, which is, by the way, two sides of a coin. And by the way, we've had an incredible response to that so far. But how could we make it a lot more efficient using MOIC's tool? And Shelby's, I don't want to steal her thunder, going to talk about how we take notes from a meeting and how it helps us automate this cost of inaction or ROI, because we are going to focus on that. And if we don't focus on that, and you know, someone's going to invest $30,000 to $50,000 in our software, they're probably going to need to have a business case, right? And then the third reason, this is so interesting to me, is the Compass AI module. I'm not scalable to my team at this point. I also am only Maureen Carlson's experience in sales. Although I do have quite a few years in it and I love coaching, availability of a 24/7 sales coach is fascinating. And wait till you guys see this, because you're just going to see it live. It helps the AEs think about, what do I do next here? Why am I stuck? What could be possibly going on? And it's almost like having Dave and Chip and Dan available 24/7 to help guide and coach with them. So it's become a thing that we're really using, and it's an LLM that from their side. So I think with that, if we move to the next slide, I think we bring it over to Shelby, and she's going to actually show you MOIC live and how we use it. And we might interject a little bit about what a pipeline meeting might look now that we use the software. So Shelby, over to you. Maybe give a minute about your background, because I think it's important and relevant here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been with System Surveyor for about 2 months now. I'm not new to the physical security space. I started out in the manufacturer side. I worked on that side for about two and a half years. And then I came over to the integrator side. So I lived in the shoes of my customers. So my career's kind of come full circle now that I'm here at System Surveyor, and I get to help the people that I was in their shoes once not too long ago. So I'm going to share my screen for you guys, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through what our process is at System Surveyor and how we use MOIC. First of all, it's been a game changer. I'm in it every single day. I'm talking to Compass all the time, but I want to start from the beginning. So as Maureen said, we live in HubSpot, and when we have our meetings, we use Zoom and we use Fathom Note Taker. So it's amazing because we get to focus on the conversation and really hone in on the customer and listen to what they're saying while AI is taking notes. So from there, let's say I have an opportunity and I have a pipeline meeting coming up with Maureen, and I'm going to kind of show you what our process is from there. So if you come down to here and you go to your import data, I love, love, love that MOIC integrates with HubSpot. So you're able to import your data from HubSpot, so all your deals that you're working, straight into the CRM. And then as Maureen mentioned, we can filter based on the deals that usually we bring to our pipeline calls, which is 750 MRR or more, because those are usually our deals that are going to get us to our quota that we really need to focus and strategize on. So once this data is imported here, you'll be able to filter by all the owners here. And then you can kind of sift through the deals that you want to bring over to your pipeline into your pipeline grader. So I've already done that, but I kind of just wanted to show you that process. So I know that here my deal is 280, but like I said, I'm new to System Surveyor, so I'm really trying to be in this system and learn it, kind of like Dave had mentioned, and just play around with all of my deals so I can teach my memory about my deals and my style. So now what you're going to do is you're going to want to come down to your memories. And this is where you're going to add a memory. So I just took my notes from my Fathom that lives in my HubSpot. I'm going to import them here. You're going to add specific hashtags to that deal for Compass to recognize. And then now this is going to live in the memory. So anytime I have a conversation or I have anything I want to add in there, whether it's through Fathom, on the phone, emails, I put this in my memory so that Compass can build from it. So then you'll also come back to here, to your pipeline grader. So I built out my memory, I have my deals, and now I need to get my markers. So the 5 markers that we live by, remember, we want to be objective, not subjective, yes, no, is do we have a unique value proposition, right? Do we have executive sponsor? What is our compelling event? Do we have a compelling event? What is our business case, right? What is our business case? What is that impact? What is our ROI? Again, financial terms. And then demo last. I love this one. I've used it a couple of times, always requesting a demo last, because if we're not demoing last, probably not going to win the deal. So from there, as you can see, I do not have business case for this deal, and I do not have demo last. So I'm going to come in here into Compass, where I have my memory, and I've already kind of played around with it and asked it some questions. So this is for Williams Companies, which is the one that I was working, and I asked it, what markers am I missing for Williams Companies for my pipeline grader? It responded and built out this beautiful response with a table. So I have partial for my executive sponsor, partial for ROI, missing compelling event, partial for demo, and then partial for unique value proposition. Now, what I also love about this is it's super interactive. So can you condense this to three important bullet points for my next call? And then now what I'm going to do is I'm preparing for my next call. And what's so great about this is, listen, if you're in sales, you're managing your calendar, right? You're protecting your time. You're focusing on deals that are going to help you hit your quota. Then you're having to prospect. So anything that can cut time in half for me, and this does about 50% to prepare for a meeting, is a game changer. So as you can see, it broke down 3 specific bullet points that I can ask on my next meeting to make sure I help fill out those remaining markers to make sure that I close my deal.
You know what we did actually, and Shelby and I talked about, we would be a little interactive here, is it's taken a little bit of practice to say, you know, of course I want to have that engagement with Shelby and talk with her about that deal, right? But we have a 30-minute pipeline. We're kind of moving and going. So starting to reverse and say, did you ask Compass yet? And then we sometimes compared what my recommendation would be to what the recommendation was. I'm not Dave and Chip and Dan, but I'll tell you, it was pretty aligned, because if you've been in an enterprise software selling, you know a lot of these things, but it kept us honest. And I mean, that's available 24/7 and at a moment's notice. Right now, you know, our days are booked up. They're dynamically in these meetings. I love that. Net out the 3 things I need to ask about. And by the way, asking someone, what is your compelling event, is the worst way to ask that. We all know that. You need to ask something like, what's happening coming up in the next month or 2 that if you didn't have this software, what would you do about it? That's a very different way to ask that question. And so we might even, there's a lot of people, what's your pain? Well, that's not how you ask that question. This has a lot of incredible guidance of what is the real way to be asking? What are the options to ask that? So sales coaching is every single day. I truly believe that, but this is definitely giving some leverage there. And right now in that meeting, I could go, hey, gee, Shelby, it's interesting that you put a proposal out for Williams in this case, but I noticed that you didn't have the business case. Did you feel like you did it too early? I'm just picking on that one, by the way. She probably didn't do that, but it's you notice how that's objective and non-emotional. Tell me more. What's going on there? What are you going to do next to get the business case? So I have found personally for me from a sales pipeline meeting exciting, right? Because this is really keeping them to their goals. Shelby, tell me more about that. Any other comments about it?
Yeah, no, it's great. Maureen, like you said, you're not just our sales manager, you do wear many hats. So what's great about this is when we're in Compass, this is our coach. This is years and years and years of experience that we can come and ask directly for questions and help guide us and strategize to get to those outcomes in an objective way, not subjective. In sales, sometimes I feel like it's easy to tie emotion to a deal. But if you could have one big takeaway from this here is that it's not subjective, it's objective. This helps you get to where you need to go without any emotions attached. So you can spend your time on deals that are actually going to close and deals that are not.
Now, Shelby, one more thing you mentioned, because we said 3 things. There was one more as automating the business case. And we've really invested a lot of time working with the MOIC team on that. So we know a very specific kind of customer, what's their top reason from a financial standpoint that they're invested, not because of a feature, right? Yes, we have all the features. And oh, this is cool. Maybe just walk through that for a second.
Yeah, so another thing that I really love about MOIC and what I use it for, especially Compass, is even if I don't have deals in here and I'm working with a customer and I need a little bit of guidance and I need a little bit of strategy, or let's say I'm talking with my coach and I'm trying to, help him go to his VP or director of sales to push this forward and I'm coaching him, then we will build out a business case together. So there are specific questions that I ask, and then MOIC has done a phenomenal job based on our memory and how we build out our business case is that I can paste my conversation with the key questions that I ask and the answers straight in here, and it will produce this business case for me based on the data that I've collected.
One quick question, Shelby. How long did that process take before you started using Pipeline Grader versus now? The whole build a business discovery, business case, proposal. How long did that take?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, it could take a couple hours. Maybe it would go from 1 meeting to 2 meetings to build it out. But now with this structure that we have in place, this specific example right here, I asked the questions, got off the meeting. Within 5 minutes, he had a follow-up email with his business case.
Impressive.
Right. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Dan?
Fantastic. Can't thank you enough. That was fantastic. So we have a Q&A session that we're going to wrap up with, and we've gotten a few questions from folks. So Dave, I'll throw the first one at you. What's different about MOIC from other sales enablement tools? What makes us different?
Well, I think fundamentally, thank you for the question, whoever supplied it. We have a point of view. We're not just a database like a Salesforce or a HubSpot. We have a point of view through our business case method of the patterns associated with enterprise software and how to attack them step by step, the sequence, how long it should take from step to step, We've done this a long time, so our system reflects our fluency in pattern recognition around enterprise sales.
Great. Thank you, Dave. Maureen, I have one for you. What is driving System Surveyor's MRR or ARR from a growth perspective?
Well, I would say first, I mean, I think we truly have a solution that is helping companies do their own growth, right? Whenever you're about sales, that's fantastic. I mean, that's only part of our story. I think we created a category. There was simply no other software. People were brute forcing and still continue to. And we started tackling, good old entrepreneur story out of Austin, Texas, a pain point that I don't think we even knew was at scale. And then we just keep delivering solid software that kind of like MOIC, it works every time, and it's really changing their business. Most physical security integrators, if you think about it, they are selling very highly sophisticated technology in a very low tech way. So we started tackling that. Now we're kind of like the word is out, and now we're trying to grow it by, with a really important figure is net revenue retention. So we need to not only retain, but we need to expand and grow our customers. So we're not just talking about net new sales. We're constantly working on building new sales, and that's all part of MRR. And, we're growing our team. Shelby joined. But we want to just be really smart with how we use our time. A lot of our customers can self-serve and buy the software at the beginning. But as they start to really adopt this and go from 5 to 25 to 50 licenses, that's enterprise engagement, and it still has to follow a business case and a process flow, just like we talked about today. So it's rather important for us to start scaling it. Hopefully that might have been a long way to the.
No, that was great. Thank you. Dave, someone's asking, when is the right time to implement MOIC products?
I get asked that question a lot. Thanks to whoever requested it. Some people view it as a chicken and the egg situation where I don't need a process till I have a lot of deals, or do I build pipeline first and then process? Do I build process first and then scale people and pipeline? Generally speaking, I think it's easier to install, in football vernacular, install your offense and recruit to that offense and run the offense than to add a bunch of folks and then figure out what your offense is going to be. Some people may not adapt well to it or what have you. So I think the best time is to start with foundation in place, build muscle memory associated with focusing on the business case and the various 5 markers that Shelby went through, to objectively march through deals and achieve predictable, consistent success.
Great, thank you. Maureen, someone is asking, what made you choose MOIC? Now, you've answered it pretty well, I think, but in a soundbite, what would you say is led you to pull the trigger on using our products and services?
Yeah, you can tell I'm a HubSpot fan, right? I think you're kind of bananas to not have a CRM. But what it doesn't, at least for me, it hasn't done very well, is really it does some scoring, but it's not really helping me in the sales coaching area as much as I would need. And we met about a year ago, and how it got there was interesting. And for me, moving towards that objectivity, so that I can coach really where it matters. And it started to say we're gonna need a more systematic way to do this. We can't remember it up here anymore. We're about 10 years in. So to your point of the offense, and then we've got a plan. Now we start applying people. Doesn't mean we won't change it, but MOIC's been important to that part of our next level of scaling and growth, and I'm really excited about it.
Thanks so much. Dave, last one for you. What do you recommend to help SaaS companies grow faster?
Well, I think in general, you need a method to plan your success. And we believe strongly in the business case that every deal has to be won 4 times. And in each case, you need the business case will carry the day. You need to sell the need, and then you need to defeat competition. Then you need to defeat IT, who can always build everything for free. And then you need to win the war for money.
You say 4 times. That's interesting. Most people think it's once.
4 times.
Great. Thank you. I want to thank everybody for joining. I want to thank Shelby, Maureen, and Dave for your great input today. And with that, we're going to close it out for everyone listening. You can reach us at, you can reach me at dan@moicpartners.com. You can reach both System Surveyor and MOIC Partners on LinkedIn. We'd love to hear from you. Again, thank you all for your time this afternoon, and be well.